Wyatt Earp. You know the name, but you don't know the whole story. He wasn't just a lawman. He was also arrested twice for horse theft. One time, he escaped jail by climbing out the roof and fleeing across the plains. Before Tombstone, he ran brothels with his older brother. That's right. Wyatt Earp, the so-called hero of the West, made money as a pimp. In Dodge City, he wasn't feared for his badge. He was feared for his fists. Wyatt was a bare-knuckle boxer. He once knocked out a man in one punch for spitting near a woman. And forget the clean-shaven Hollywood look. Earp had a thick mustache and a permanent scowl. Locals said his stare could stop a man cold. He was close friends with Doc Holliday, a deadly gambler dying of tuberculosis. But their friendship was full of fights, arguments, even threats with guns. Still, they had each other's backs until the end. Wyatt didn't start the OK Corral shootout, but he finished it. In 30 seconds, he changed history. And then it got personal. After Morgan was murdered, Wyatt went rogue. He didn't wait for courts. He hunted the killers down one by one. And when he found them, he shot them dead. One outlaw begged for his life. Wyatt looked him in the eye and pulled the trigger. He called it justice. Others called it murder. The newspapers loved it either way. Later, he moved to Alaska during the gold rush. He opened a saloon in a lawless town called Nome. He even got into a fistfight with a U.S. Marshal over a woman. He loved fast money, fast guns, and fast women. One of his wives may have been a working girl when they met. He never legally married most of them. In his 70s, he lived in Los Angeles. He hung out with silent film stars. He gave advice to cowboy actors, how to hold a gun, how to walk like a killer. One of his biggest fans? A young John Wayne. When he died in 1929, Hollywood barely noticed. But years later, they turned him into a legend. Here's the twist. Wyatt Earp never got shot. Not once. Not in any gunfight. He walked through the most violent towns in the West, bulletproof. No one else had that record. Not Wild Bill, not Bat Masterson, only Earp. So who was Wyatt Earp, really? A lawman? A killer? A myth? Maybe all of it. But one thing's for sure. He didn't ride into history. He kicked the door open. But the story doesn't stop there. Wyatt Earp once refereed a heavyweight boxing match that ended in total chaos. The fight was fixed. Fans stormed the ring. Wyatt pulled a gun on the crowd to stop a riot. That scandal followed him for years. Some say it ruined his chances of ever going fully legit. He was also investigated for murder in Deadwood. Yeah, the same Deadwood from the HBO show. He was cleared, but only because no one dared testify. He was obsessed with reputation. He once threatened to shoot a journalist for calling him a vigilante. Earp didn't trust anyone. He carried 2 pistols and slept with one under his pillow every night. And he never drank. Not whiskey, not beer, nothing. In a world full of drunk lawmen, Wyatt stayed sharp. He made money running card games and collecting bribes. Justice was a business, and he knew how to profit from it. At one point, he partnered with con men to rig faro games in saloons. He'd distract the player while his partner stacked the deck. One gambler said, "You never beat Wyatt. You just didn't realize you lost." And he didn't always win gunfights. He lost control of Tombstone the moment he went rogue. By 1882, he was run out of town, hated by the law and the outlaws. Wyatt Earp died broke. No ranch, no fortune, just a trunk of letters, a pistol, and a name too big to fade. Today, he's a legend, but the truth is darker, messier, and far more human. He wasn't just a man of the law. He was a survivor of the wildest, bloodiest era in American history. And somehow, he outlived them all.